Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are talking about scarves. Again, I know it's just that I have such a huge passion for scarves, and it makes me so happy that right now it's becoming so trendy, because sometimes trends can be very disappointing, very hard to pull off. So whenever something starts becoming more popular that is actually useful, wearable, beautiful, it just makes my heart sing, and scarves are having that moment. Not only on fashion shows and editorials, but also influencers are wearing them a lot. I have seen them in high-end, I have seen them in fast fashion. So it's really the perfect time to start building a collection if you feel kind of overwhelmed. There are a lot of colors and prints out there, and if like me you love a more classic aesthetic, those feminine timeless elements, it can be a little bit of a challenge to know what to get and what to not get. So I thought I would share with you 5 of the key classic scarf prints that I believe you should have in your closet if you love that type of look. These are prints that not only are classics in terms of how they look, but that have also been popular for a long time, have been worn by the chicest women in fashion history. So you know that when you're adding them to your closet, you're actually going to get your wear out of them and not just going to be something that is pretty to look at, but you don't really know how to wear or how to style. These are super versatile, super beautiful, and you need them in your closet. Beginning with equestrian prints. The equestrian world has always been used in design, in fashion, in art to portray that old world elegance, that sophisticated sort of heritage feel that looks sporty but still luxurious. We all know that Hermes is the most famous brand for doing this type of, for using this type of element in their designs. They have started as an equestrian brand, doing saddles, doing riding boots, and evolved into a fashion house. So it really is part of their house codes, and they do it really well. And whenever you see someone wearing something that is reminiscent of an equestrian universe, you immediately think of ultra luxury Hermes. To get that general feel, we're talking about horse bits, we're talking about kind of leather straps and stirrups, buckles, even actual horses. The important thing here is to get a print that looks high quality. You don't want something that has a wonky design, that doesn't have beautiful lines and proportions, because then it just really kills the purpose that you were going for, which is something sophisticated. Equestrian prints also usually tell a story. They have a composition that is very interesting depending on how you fold it. So it's not just beautiful to look at, but it's also an interesting element to add to your look. Second print would be a square print. Some people would call this a stripe, but in actuality, that is not what we're talking about, because we don't want lines going across our scarf. We want a line that creates a border around that square. This is not a geometry class, I'm not going to get too much into it, but my point is you want something that is going to show on the corners as kind of accompanying the cut of that square, just so that it looks better when it's folded. So it's not clashing, it's not a bunch of lines going a bunch of ways, it's all very cohesive. This is a great design because it is a no-brainer jack of all trades. It also goes really well with more cool girl, kind of laid back, relaxed look. So if you're just looking to, for instance, I'm wearing an oversized linen shirt, and if I wanted to throw on a scarf, something like that would go really well with this, because it's simple in its design, but it's just an added detail that makes you look styled. However, if you want to turn it into something a bit more elevated, a bit more intricate, you totally can do a more perfect, more complex knot with it and it still looks appropriate. It's a great thing to have in your wardrobe, and it has been one of the more trendy scarves lately because of the totem ones we have been seeing and a bunch of other brands that have been doing something a bit more graphic, a little bit more modern. So if you like that more contemporary feel, a square print is what you want to get. Third print would be a chain motif. This one is such a great little mix of the two previous ones because you do get the luxuriousness of what we find with equestrian prints, but you also get the graphic kind of symmetric elements of a square print. So you get the best of both worlds, making it one of the most versatile designs you can have in your wardrobe. It's a very classic, extremely easy to pull off print that I do find looks very exuberant, almost recalls jewelry in a way, which I love. If you find that that is a bit too much and you want something that is a bit more pared down, perhaps go for something in a rope design instead of a chain, because then it will have that more maritime kind of nautical feel, still with the shape and with the symmetry of a chain, but without that kind of more glam aspect to it. The repetition of the design of a chain is what makes it, I think, so easy and so kind of effortless to pull off. It's pleasing to the eye. It, again, has been a classic for ages, so it does carry that with it, that kind of history, that kind of story. And just like with the square design, you just throw it on however you prefer it and it always looks good. Fourth design would be Flora and Fauna patterns. This one can go very wrong, but if you find a good pattern, it can go very right. Just like with the equestrian print, you need something that looks beautifully designed and drawn. So perhaps instead of going for something really bold, go for something that is a little bit more delicate. What comes to mind would be the Gucci Flora print. It is a total icon of scarf history. It was developed by Gucci when Grace Kelly was set to visit Milan, and they just made a print especially for her. And to this day, it's one of the most recognizable, one of the most just gorgeous prints out there. If you love a feminine, demure, I know that is kind of the keyword of the moment right now, but if you love something that is feminine, something that is ethereal in a way, that is the print for you. The flowers are smaller but not too tiny. They do have a design to them, so it's not just generic flowers. It just has a more botanical aspect, which I think makes it look more elegant as well. However, I do know that not everybody loves florals. They can be a little bit too dainty for some, and in that case I would go for fauna, kind of animal inspired prints. We're not talking about leopard print or zebra print or like the face of a tiger, because I do think they can be a little gaudy when it comes to scarves. I'm talking about something that is a bit more subtle, a bit more tasteful. Sabrina Savage makes the most beautiful scarf prints when it comes to animals. She really gets that equilibrium, that harmony between boldness and sophistication. So it's not exaggerated. It's just absolutely just a masterpiece in scarf design. I personally love anything that has either birds in it. When you get like a glimpse of a feather or the repetition of a bunch of different birds, maybe more exotic species, even Asian inspired, really makes my heart sing. Or conversely, I also love woodland creatures when it comes to print design. So deer, elk, owls, rabbits, foxes, those types of animals usually have a sort of whimsical quality to them, sort of a magical quality to them that I find is beautiful in a scarf. And much like the equestrian themes, they do tell a story, they have beautiful composition, but they also need to be beautifully designed. So be extremely picky, but once you find one that you love, you'll see that you wear it time and time again, because it just feels like you're wearing a part of a story around your neck. And last but not least would be a Paisley print. The Paisley print not only is a total classic in a wardrobe, but it also has a very interesting history. It originated in the Persian Empire, and when the West and the East began having more of a commercial kind of merchant relationship, that print became the thing to have. It is actually said that most of it came through India, through cashmere shawls, which to me is kind of a light bulb moment, because I grew up knowing this print as cashmere print. My mom always called it that, and that's the reason why. But in English speaking countries, and maybe other countries as well, they call it a Paisley. Paisley, it's actually a town in Scotland that became very famous because they turned into experts in reproducing that sort of teardrop shaped print that everybody wanted, but there wasn't enough of. So of course, capitalism leads into opportunity, and someone learned how to make them. So it really has that sort of East meets West connection that I love so much. Makes it so much more interesting, so much more beautiful and rich in its kind of design. It's the type of motif that you will find in a lot of silk related articles, so not only scarves but also kind of handkerchiefs, ties. So it almost also has that sartorial feel to it. I just love how a tiny little print has so much of a story to tell. It's amazing. Fashion works in those mysterious ways, I guess. This is it, everyone. These are the prints that I believe you need to have in your closet if you like that more classic feel, that timelessness, that sophistication and elegance. I feel like I repeat these words over and over again in every video, but they are my guiding principles when it comes to dressing up. And when it comes to scarves, they become even more important, because scarves are little accessories, little pieces of fabric that really allow you to show your personality and to kind of express yourself. So let me know down in the comments if you have scarves in your closet. What is your favorite scarf print? And thank you guys so much for watching. We will see each other again next time. Bye bye.